Inspiration wants to find you, but it wants to find you working. That is a quote that I've seen to be proven universally true. Anytime I'm working on anything, I'm working in a few different fields. Anytime I do anything and I don't feel inspired and I have no clue what to do next, I don't feel motivated or anything, the best thing I can do is to simply continue working or start working on anything. Now, the question is, if you're a perfectionist like me, your question will be, well, but how can I start working if I don't feel like I can bring it to an end? If I don't feel like I can make it good enough, why even bother starting? That's a very valid question. My reply to that would be, do something that you don't give a fuck about. The problem is you have writer's block, you have whatever the fuck block, and you can't do any of the work because you have too high expectations and too little self confidence in you being able to do it, and you having a specific idea on what you have to do at which point and how it should look and whether you are able to do it. That's why I say start with something that you don't care about. And again, don't pick any project that you have to do. Just, well, go into your, I don't know, image editing program, open a new blank canvas, and just drag around with your mouse and see what comes up, see what you can come up with, see what you can design. Just write anything. Just start. Yesterday, I went to the supermarket. I saw a weird woman. She was having two dogs. She was carrying two dogs and blah 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 blah. And just write some bullshit. And at some point, if you keep doing that for long enough, at some point your brain will start working again. Your brain is like a motor, and once it's off, once it's turned off, it needs a lot of energy, initial energy, to start again. If you know anything about cars, then you would know that to be true. But once it's running, the battery you can throw it out of the window, basically, and the car will still keep running because it's generating enough energy to run itself. Basically, that wasn't 100% exact. You know what I mean. And that's the same for anything else, for writing, for making videos, for creating social media content, for whatever the fuck. Once you are going, once you're doing something, it's easier to keep going, but it's very hard to start. And that's universally true. If you want to clean your room, that's why the best habit I have for you that works for me in regards to cleaning my room is to start with 30 seconds. You set yourself a timer for 30 seconds, and once it rings, you can stop. And then you will actually do it. 30 seconds isn't that long, right? It's literally just throwing like three things in the trash and picking up one piece of clothing. But then you've done something. That was progress. And then you can stop. But maybe, and that's usually what happens to me, but don't have the expectation for that. But sometimes what happens, or oftentimes, is because I'm already going, I'm like, oh, actually, this isn't that bad. And I just continue and I keep going. And that's how my life and my room doesn't go under in complete chaos. Because I have a very hard time starting things, but unless, I'm super motivated. But that's how I can start and that's how I can keep going because the keeping going isn't that hard. You just need to do like very little steps and then you can get very, very far. There's a Chinese proverb that goes something like that. Even the longest journey starts with one single small step. And that's true for anything. So, I have no clue what this video usually was about, or inspiration wants to find you, but it wants to find you working. Yes. Inspiration is just. There isn't anything like inspiration. Well, the way you imagine inspiration, right? You just. Oh, you're working, you're burned out, you have no clue what to do, and then you just go out and go for a walk, and suddenly you have an idea, right? Oftentimes you don't have any idea. But the reason why you sometimes have ideas is because there's no pressure on you. When you're sitting down, you have pressure that you have to perform. When you are outside going for a walk, if you're under the shower, suddenly all the ideas start coming because you're not limiting your brain anymore. You're not putting any pressure on it. And that's part of the reason. And Yeah. So to be more successful with anything, rem- you need pressure, but you don't want enough pressure to make you crumble underneath it. The same, but there's another saying: the same hot water that will boil an egg will make the potato soft, something like that. And so you can look to other people what they're doing for inspiration, but the same things might not work for you. But this is something that I found for anybody to work. So yeah, go out and try it if you want. Start with one little thing. Set yourself a time of 30 seconds. If you want to become fit, how do you do it? You go down on the floor and you start with one push up, and then you get up and continue your day. And if you don't want to do it, do one knee push up. There's nobody in the world who can't do that. It's not that hard. And, well, it's a start. And if you want to quit right after that, that's cool. But I guarantee you did more than if you would have just said, "Nah, I don't do anything at all." And sometimes you do more push ups than one. Or you clean for longer than 30 seconds, you make more than just one shitty post. Maybe you have another idea for a great post. Who knows? Who gives a fuck? Goodbye.